Billionaire God of War. Chapter 5. If you Ray asking for a favor. Ask humbly. Lin Qiang's house. Lin Xiao was seated and drinking tea. He had come to ask about that particular project. The enchanting smell of the incense smoke of agarwood blew over from one side. Dad. This project with CEO Huang is very important to the Lins. Lin Qiang said as he made tea. Of course. The Lins will soon rise one level higher. Lin Xiao continued happily. So what is the status of this project? No problem. Lin Feng has gone to get the contract signed today. Lin Qiang went on. Your grandson has never disappointed you. Lin Xiao was pleased and nodded his head. All the men of the Lin family were outstanding. Dad. Lin Feng came running in like a storm. A nasty expression on his face. When he saw that Lin Xiao was here, he didn't dare to say anything. We were just talking about you. Lin Qiang motioned at his father. Grandpa wanted to ask how is the project with CEO Huang going so far? Has he signed the contract already? Lin Feng looked at Lin Xiao and became a little nervous and stuttered. This project. When he saw how he seemed to be hesitant with words, Lin Qiang's face fell and he had a bad feeling about this. I went to his office today, but CEO Huang had to attend to other matters and wasn't around. He asked me to go again tomorrow to get it signed. Lin Feng managed to squeeze this out. If Grandpa knew he lost this deal, Grandpa was going to kill him. This CEO Huang started off with nothing and he has always been very arrogant. Since he asked you to wait one day, then just wait. Lin Xiao replied, his face full of smiles. Yes. Grandpa. I'll wait like you said. Lin Feng forced himself to reply. But Lin Qiang could tell that something was wrong. He didn't say anything until his father had left. Then he called Lin Feng into the study with a dark expression on his face. What is going on? He angrily shouted. If you dare to hide anything from me, I'll beat you to death. Dad. Lin Feng replied indignantly. This has nothing to do with me. It's Lin Yuzhen. He angrily continued. That CEO Huang said he would only sign the contract with Lin Yuzhen. And everybody else doesn't have the right to even see him. I was literally chased out of the office by them immediately. Lin Qiang had a nasty expression on his face. His son had been chased out. That Lin Yuzhen must be sleeping with CEO Huang. Otherwise how could things turn out like that? Lin Feng said unhappily. CEO Huang also said that if the one signing with him isn't Lin Yuzhen, then we can forget about this project and he doesn't care. He could choose not to care, but the Lins couldn't. Do you know how much the Lins have invested in this project? Lin Qiang glowered at his son, all ready to whack him to death. If we lose this project, even if I don't kill you, your grandfather will. Lin Feng's face turned ghostly pale instantly. What do we do now? He asked anxiously. He thought that he could just claim credit for all this work he didn't do. But who knew it turned out to be such a sticky situation? What do we do now? Lin Qiang scolded angrily. Who asked you to fire Lin Yuzhen now? Now we've lost the project and both of us have to get out. Lin Feng didn't dare to speak up. His dad was the one who fired Lin Yuzhen. Since he was the CEO. Get Lin Yuzhen back and sign this project. Lin Qiang shouted. Once she's got this signed, throw her out again. Will she be willing? Lin Feng asked cautiously. Call her now. Lin Feng gulped and didn't dare to argue. He took out his phone and called Lin Yuzhen. But nobody picked up. Lin Yuzhen didn't want to pick up any calls from them at all now. Dad. She's not answering. What do we do? What do we do? Lin Qiang laughed coldly. Looks like this young lady has some pride, huh? I suppose we have to pay her a visit and ask her to come back. If this project weren't this important. He didn't want to see the three members of Lin Wen's family at all. Oh wait. There was still that crazy son-in-law of his. So 4 members now. Now that Lin Yuzhen had lost her right to fight for the family business, He didn't want to bother himself with these useless pieces of garbage. But he couldn't think too much about all this now. Lin Qiang immediately drove Lin Feng to Lin Yuzhen's place. Very soon, the two of them reached the old and run-down Huaqing estate. Lin Qiang frowned as he looked at the area around him, walking extremely carefully as if he was afraid of dirtying his pants. "It's this house." Lin Feng pointed at one of the doors. It seemed like they would never come to this sort of place. The Lins were rich, but the money was all with Lin Xiao, and even though his children worked for the Lin group, they only received a salary and annual bonuses. After Lin Wei became paralyzed, he was unable to work anymore, and so he wasn't able to support his family anymore. He had a house to live in because his father pitied him. Bomb, bomb, bomb. Lin Feng banged hard on the door. "Coming. Why do you have to bang so hard on the door?" That was Sumei's voice coming from the house. She opened the door to find Lin Qiang and his son standing at the door, and she froze for a while. After her initial shock, her face immediately fell. "What are you doing here?" "We're looking for Lin Yuzhen." Lin Qiang calmly said this as he pushed the door open and walked in. "Where is she?" "She's not in." Sumei spoke nastily. "What do you want with her?" "Lin Yuzhen." Lin Qiang couldn't be bothered with Sumei and started shouting. "Uncle Qiang is here. Aren't you coming out to greet me?" Lin Yuzhen could hear him from her room. She didn't expect them to really come to her place. All these years, even after her father was paralyzed, Lin Qiang had never visited them. What did they want today? "Come along. Let's go." Jiang Ning pulled Lin Yuzhen's hand and dragged her out. Lin Qiang started laughing when he saw Lin Yuzhen come outside. "Yuzhen? Still angry with me?" Lin Yuzhen didn't respond. "About the company firing you. That was just a misunderstanding." A look of "I don't care" flashed across Lin Qiang's face. "But the company needs you back to sign that contract with CEO Huang. If you still want to leave the company, you can leave after the contract is signed." Lin Yuzhen's body started shaking violently from rage when she heard this. When they didn't need her, they just fired her. When they needed her, they immediately came looking for her. What did they take her as? A tool. Just dispose of it after using it. Sumei also understood what was going on. Lin Qiang and his son had actually fired Lin Yuzhen, and she didn't even know. "Lin Qiang, what is the meaning of this? What do you take Yuzhen as? What do you take this entire family as?" She was furious. "Auntie Sumei, your family isn't really worth much." Lin Feng continued disdainfully. "Now it's only because Lin Yuzhen is of some value. Otherwise I wouldn't bother to come to such a rundown house like yours." "You?" Sumei's face was filled with rage and she lifted a hand to slap Lin Feng's face. "Hit if you dare." Lin Qiang shouted threateningly. "You old hag. You dare to hit a member of the Lin family." Sumei bit her lips. He just called her an old hag. What an insult. Pack. Suddenly there was the sound of a loud slap. Lin Feng held his face in disbelief. Jiang Ning had hit him yet again. "Who gave you the guts to insult my mother-in-law like that?" Jiang Ning took a step forward and said calmly, "If you need to ask for a favor, you'd better ask humbly and nicely. Didn't your dad teach you that?" Welcome to download Bravonovel app to online reading Billionaire God of War full story.